Well, Coach, your first full calendar year, almost in the books, and we're through recruiting. Well, halfway through, I should say. How do you feel like it's gone so far?
Oh, I think it's gone excellent. Yeah, I mean, to put this class together was huge. This is our first, full class as a staff here, and we got some really good players coming in. We got great people, leaders, students. We got some of the positions we needed to get addressed. We got addressed, so we're all excited.
Very excited because you've got 24 guys right now, prospects that have signed, and you mentioned some of the characteristics of these guys, but when you look at the list that you're bringing in right now, what are you most excited about and what are you expecting?
I'm excited about all of them, but again, the people here, the loyalty of some of these people are just incredible because when you look at, they had to have faith in this program, they had to have faith in this coaching staff, and really faith in me without results. And a lot of these people, committed. When I say people, it's because it's a family too. They committed before we even won a game, and then now to see where we're at playing in the semifinals and seeing the success we had, it just means a lot to us that they had faith. And but there's a lot of positions that we're excited about. Certainly, bringing in 2 quarterbacks is critical. The 4 wide receivers is critical. The defensive backs that stayed loyal even through losing Jeff Hafley was great. Some really good linebackers. I mean, it's all the way across the board and a lot of depth.
We want to dive into some of that depth, and everyone likes to talk about the offense, so let's stick there. You mentioned wanting to bring in 4 quarterbacks. You did that now, have 4 on scholarship. Let's talk about C.J. Stroud because we weren't sure where he was going to go. He's going to be a Buckeye. Why was it so important to get this kid?
Well, it's Jack and CJ. They're both very different. Jack is somebody that committed to us early on, has been loyal throughout this whole process. You saw him as a 16-year-old, and I think he's got a tremendous upside when he gets here. And then CJ is someone that came late in the scene. I think he's got a lot of developing to do, and I think but he also has the ability to come in and play and make an impact early on because he's so talented. So when you look at both of those guys, both really, really talented that I think can make an impact right away, but also both have a great ceiling. Very different in certain ways, and I know they're going to get along well as well because that's a part of it too. When you're in that room and you go together, some of those best friendships are made in those rooms, even though you're competing for the same spot. And we looked hard at that dynamic, and we think it's going to be great.
What also looks really great are the wide receivers that you mentioned. Outrageous is what I've heard to describe these 4 guys that you're bringing in. I know Brian Hartline's got his work cut out for him, but what stands out when you look at those 4?
Well, there's already a camaraderie about them. They talk all the time. They're super excited about the quarterbacks we brought in, but they're playmakers. And they're all kind of different shapes and sizes. Mookie's a little slot guy. Jackson's kind of can do it all. Julian and G are kind of bigger, stronger guys that are going to be hard to defend on the perimeter. So exciting because we're losing a bunch of receivers. So these guys are going to have a chance to come in and make an impact early on.
You talk about what you're losing, and you mentioned it earlier. You're losing one of your coaches who I know has been instrumental. I mean, it takes a village, right, to do recruiting, and
Yep.
Jeff Hafley's definitely been there with you. How tough is it to lose him?
Well, a week before, I could talk to the recruits, and I appreciate what they've been through because it isn't fun to go through that when you built a relationship with somebody. But when you've played the way we've played, and you're at Ohio State, and the way the defense is played this year, then people are going to have opportunities. And it's a shame that something like that happens. But we've been good before Jeff. We're going to be good after Jeff, and we're going to replace him with the best in the country.
I know that this has been kind of a whirlwind. I can't even say couple of weeks. It's season so far, Coach. But when you sit back and look at your first full year in charge, undefeated, heading to the college football playoffs, going to play against Clemson, you've got a top 5 recruiting class. Are you impressed or surprised with how this year's gone?
Certainly, I think our staff's done a good job of, in the first year, making an impact. And that was critical for us because you have to create credibility out there. That's just the way it is in today's day and age. And I think we've done that. I think that we've said what we're going to do, and we did it. We've developed guys at a high level this year, and we're recruiting really good players. And that's what it really comes down to at the end. And I think when we get to February and we get to finally get to the second signing day, we'll sit back and reflect. But right now, it's all focused on the 28th and playing Clemson.
Eventually, you'll get to take a breather. I know it. A lot to be proud of, though, this season. Coach, appreciate the time. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.